Is the strategy sustainable, or are we going to be flash in a pan and give up because we hit an obstacle and then it's too hard to maintain? So people ask all the time, what should our growth metrics be, right? What should we be striving for in an insurance agency? And there are a wide variety of different models out there and standards. And in the blog associated with this video, we actually break down some of the key ones that we think you should be thinking of. But the reality is, just like anything in life, you should know your metrics first. I like to equate a lot of things to working out or being healthy, right? Like after Christmas, we have to step on the scale and find out where we are. Once we know where we are, we can work on improving it. But say I step on the scale and I'm 100 pounds overweight, the actual goal is improvement to get to where you want to be. If you looked at it like every day, like I haven't lost 100 pounds, it's probably going to take you maybe 2 years to lose 100 pounds, maybe less, depending on how you approach it or what you're willing to do or how you got yourself there. So the first step in understanding your performance metrics is getting really sharp and really clear on what they are. And that is going to take some work for many agencies out there. Reporting inside of, management systems can be frustrating. So people look at it, give up because it's not simple and easy. And I can go on and on and on about the inequity on that, but that's not the point. Who cares if it's hard? You still have to do it. So if you don't know your retention rate, if you don't know clearly your new business numbers, your lost policies, your book size, clean up your book, make it a challenge for 90 days. Start there. Just like working out, the first couple months are the hardest because you're relearning what to eat. You're relearning the soreness of going and working out. And maybe you can't run a mile, but you can walk a mile. Well, after 90 days, you could probably start to run, a half mile and then keep going. So you have to start there knowing your metrics. The second thing you have to do is then benchmark them. Okay, my retention is 88% and industry average is 84, which by the way is horrible because that includes non-standard agencies and captives. APP says shoot for 90, 92. We have agencies at 96 that follow very specific guidelines over the course of time, not instantaneously. So as you're doing that, then it's like, okay, I'm at 88. This year's goal is to get to, 90, or it's to get to 89. However, and you have to then back in the work you're willing to do. So going back to losing 100 pounds. Well, if all I had to do was sit and not work and not have other stressors, not travel like I do, I could lose weight faster. But I have to factor in the other things in that we have going on. So maybe you start with a goal of 89. Perfect, you bumped it a point. That's huge. That's ginormous depending on the size of your book. So after you know your numbers, now you start charting, one, your goal, but specifically what you are going to do to get there. And the key on that is making it rational and reasonable. So yes, I could lose 100 pounds if I only eat celery and like boiled chicken breast for a year and worked out for 2 hours a day. Yeah, I could totally. And maybe throw in a shot or two there of Ozempic. I could get there. But maybe I'm not willing to do that. Maybe based on other factors in life, that's not sustainable. And that's the other thing you want to think about. Is the strategy sustainable? Or are we going to be flash in a pan and give up because we hit an obstacle and then it's too hard to maintain? So then you want to see positive momentum. And eventually, if you do that long enough, you will get there and you will hit your target. But the idea is compete against yourself because only you have your metrics. Maybe your sales are really low because in this market, you've been so focused on servicing. Okay, it's time to start moving back into that other arena. So start by knowing your metrics, understand what the industry best practices are, but pick your strategy based on your resources, your tools, what's most important, and pick a strategy that you know you can maintain. And at the end, maybe you exceed that. What a blessing. But if you go too high too fast, you're going to end up failing. So that's our ideas on your performance metrics. You can check out our blog where we list out lots of performance metrics that are industry best practices and how to go ahead and get those for your team. If you have any questions, please let us know. But our agency assessment can help you with all this. So if it's overwhelming, you don't have to do it alone. You can always call your industry best friend, Agency Performance Partners.